Guys, welcome back to Practically Creative. I'm Melissa. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new and you're coming back to see another video, welcome back. Good to see you again. I am using an old quilt block or a leftover quilt block to make a mug rug today because I've been asked to make a present for a friend. So I'm going to show you the process that we use, and I'm not going to make you watch me cut everything out because the block is already made. So let's go over to the sewing machine and get started. So over here at the sewing machine, this is our block. We're using a Sunbonnet Sue that I had left over, and I'm going to put some purple around it. I have cut some pieces from another layer cake that's in this particular set, and I'm just going to sew real quick these pieces around the edges. My mug rug is going to be 10 by 10. Guys, where you can see that just a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna trim that, and I'm gonna cut this off at the edge, lay it down. Do it the other way, you're gonna cut yourself, and we don't want to do that. No cutting ourselves allowed. So I have cut the top and bottom pieces here at 1.5 inches. And then I cut my side pieces at 2.5 inches. And I'm just putting a quick 1/4 inch seam down through there. I'm gonna finger press over my 2 trim pieces with the seams going to the outside. And then we're going to put the other piece that I cut, the 2.5 inch piece, right along the outside edge, making sure that everything stays where it's supposed to. Drop it underneath the needle. And I'm not back stitching at the beginning or end of these, mostly because I'm going to quilt it onto the backing that we have. So the back stitch isn't really necessary. Cut our little threads, finger press that side. We'll come around here and do the exact same thing again. My layer cake has a pinked edge, so I'm just putting that to the outside. That way I don't have to deal with it. I don't like pinked edges on something like this, especially on layer cakes. They seem to drop threads, so I'm just putting it in the seam. Making sure everything stays lined up. I cut it, okay. Finger press the edges. And so there's the, excuse me, there's the top of our little mug rug so far. And then what I did was I took one of the 10 by 10 layer cake pieces and a piece of leftover fleece that I have from something else. This is a scrappy project, can you tell? And I'm just pressing everything down together. That fleece holds onto this really well, so I don't feel the need to bind it or do anything else to it, put a basting spray on. But I am trying to keep it all even. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to go sew right around the edge here, and then I'll do a little tiny bit of quilting. And then we will trim it. And I'm going to do this with a zigzag to give us a fairly, a little bit wider. I'm just going to do a quick zigzag around here. One thing you do want to do is if you're turning a corner and you're on the right hand side, you want to make sure that your needle is to the right when you turn it, so that when you come down this side, it's still lined up on the seam that you want it lined up on. And I just love Sunbonnet Sue's. I made a quilt from her a while back. And this was a block that was left over. I've got 3 or 4 actually. But I thought this would be absolutely perfect for the person that I'm sending the gift to. Made the Sunbonnet Sue for a cousin who just had a baby girl after a long wait. And I just thought that the Sue was so classic. And all I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I keep everything pulled straight. Stopped at the right again, and then we're going to go. I think I should have gone a little bit further over, so I'll just fudge my little seam. Get back stitch there, lift up my needle, and then cut my threads. Cut both the threads there. That works out quick. Okay, so here we are. The block is sewn on. Like I said, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of stitching on this, but I do have this little heart. Again, a leftover from something else. And I'm going to put it up on here, and I'm just going to sew the heart down with a straight stitch. Just go right around the heart. And I remember why this block got left out of my quilt. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little bit of lift right there. It didn't applique correctly. So I'm going to do a quick applique right around the edge of my bonnet, just to make sure the edge is down, because a mug rug will get washed regularly. Also adds to the quilting on it, I think. Put it to the outside because I'm turning this way. Make sure it catches that edge. And even though it was only that one little section of the bonnet, I'm still going to do the whole bonnet. Cut loose. Cut my threads. Get all my little loose threads off of here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to serge right around the outside of this so that the edges are sealed. I'm not even going to bind this particular mug rug. I'll be back in just a minute once I have that done. Okay, so now we have our little mug rug all serged. You'll notice I have all these little strings at the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those strings off just with my little scissors. And you could, if you prefer, use an embroidery needle and weave those strings into the seam. But what I'm planning to do here is I've cut those off, and then I'm going to use this product. This is called Fray Check, and it is a glue that will permanently keep things where they belong. So here we go. We have finished serging the edges, and I've trimmed all the little strings off. You could feed them through with an embroidery needle into your hem if you wanted to. Couldn't find that word. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some fray check to each corner. The fray check means that the threads won't move, and those little tiny strings, if you can see them on camera, that are still showing, I'll trim those off once it's all dry. So here is our little mug rug. I think that is super cute. It's a great use for an old block. Our little mug rug is super cute. I think it's a great use for an orphan quilt block. I mean, you could make an applique for this specifically, but I think this will work great, and it will hold, you know, your cup will sit on it. I mean, it's big enough. It's almost 10 inches. And it'll hold a little plate for a snack if you want. All right, guys, thank you for watching. You have a great day, and I hope that you'll give me a like and a subscribe if you like what you see. Feel free to check out my channel. I have lots more quick, easy tutorials out there for you. Bye-bye.